Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show, the Q Show. This is the very first episode of our podcast, and we're excited to have you here with us. We're so excited to have you here as we pioneer our conversation that highlights who we are, what we do, and where we are headed. My name is Bolanle Adegboyega, and alongside me tonight, I have Mr. Ayanfe, and will be your moderator for tonight. Tonight, we'll be talking about what Cuesoft is, our mission, and everything that you need to know about Cuesoft. And to take us on this journey tonight, we have a very special guest, the CEO of Cuesoft himself, Mr. Ibukun Dairo. Mr. Ibukun, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Oh, yep. I'm excited.
All right. So to kick things off, I want to ask Mr. Ibukun that what is Cuesoft and what is the inspiration behind Cuesoft?
Like you're taking me down memory lane. So the idea for CueSoft began during my university years, like between 2016 and 2017. And I noticed that teams often work better in pairs, following the principles of peer programming. So I was quite inspired by this, and then I envisioned a company that operated on the same foundation. One client side developer and then one server side developer working together across different projects. It's much like the dynamic duels we often see in detective movies. So it was kind of fun to think of like a company that operated that same way, like two people like working together. But of course, like two people can build an entire complex systems alone. But it was just a fun dream to have.
Thank you very much. To continue, I would hand you over to my co-moderator, Mr. Ayanfe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I also happen to be part of Cuesoft, and I can say with all confidence that the idea and what the CEO, who I've just finished speaking, had in mind is coming to fruition with every passing year. Working in peers is better. So can you elaborate more on that and how that idea has actually helped in the growth of Cuesoft?
Right. I always make this statement. I wish I had a clone. I wish I could split myself into two so I could do more stuff. So that's just the whole idea. Like, and it's foundational to like the field, like in computer science. Like there's something called peer programming, where you kind of have one person doing the coding, and then you have like this other person beside, probably just looking over your shoulders, reviewing your code and doing stuff like that. And for me, like learning how to write code and all of that was kind of like a lonesome journey for me. I didn't have that peer programming, like working with other people. So I think that was where the fascination came, because I understood the challenges that came with being self-taught, like learning everything yourself, figuring things out, like breaking stuff. And yeah, when I started, I kind of like immersed myself into the learning, like experience, learning everything about web development. I signed up for Digital Ocean to explore Linux servers, configure like mailbox, like my own private mailbox and server management. I even purchased my first domain, Cool Bean Stuffed, for the company as a joke, like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna do cool stuff." But as I prepared to start a real company, like I understood that okay, there's just so much you can go, like how far you can go doing some of this stuff by yourself. So I wanted to create an environment where people could learn. And so I knew that I needed a much more seriousness, and I wanted something that carried the same weight as Microsoft. So you would see it's kind of the same. I just wanted something soft like Microsoft, and I had to look for the first word like Q, like when you do the billiard game, the cube. So I said, oh, you could actually match Q with soft, and it actually makes sense, like the Q soft. the name symbolizes a keyboard pushing software forward, reimagining how software could be built. So that's where the reimagine software tagline for the company came about. It's just where I kind of wanted to reimagine an environment, learning environment where you're not doing everything by yourself, and then you have this other person beside you that's supporting you along the way.
Hey, thank you for that. So I'm actually looking at the name Cuesoft. Is actually something that makes me more curious, or like I believe would make any other person more curious about why Q, like CUE, why not Q like letter Q, or why not anything else? And of course, you mentioned something about that. So I mean, if you don't mind, you can expatiate on that. And also, I'd like to just ask or try to know, because in one of the things recently just in one of the things you just mentioned, you talked about also training. So and then you talked about some of your the part of your journey from where you started and what you started to do. So can you also relate that with Cuesoft, where Cuesoft's or what Cuesoft is doing? Yeah. So just those 2 points. Q, why Q, and maybe more insight, even though you already mentioned it, and secondly, Cuesoft itself.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. So if you've played the game billiard or like snookers, we call it snooker in Nigeria, and like to kind of hit all the balls and then score a point, you kind of have to hit the white ball, which is the cue ball. So that was how I imagined like the company, like being an example for other companies to follow. So we kind of like the cue ball, we set the pace. Like you have to hit the cue ball to get other balls rolling. So, and for me, like creating a learning environment is very, very important for me. Like if you check my journey through academic and professional, it's just always been about learning new stuff. So I'm always learning new things. Like all weekends I'm learning. So um so it's very important for me. Like you can't stay static because you're going to lose relevance over the years. So you kind of have to like keep learning and refreshing, and that also factors into the industry that we're in, software development, where you pretty much have new versions of things coming out every day. How do you have to keep up with this? Like, and some other things that you notice when you work in a company or the big, you kind of get logged into that ecosystem, that because you're doing some 9 to 5 and then you have to learn all the stack for that particular company. And then when you probably want to transition into a company, you find out that you don't even have the knowledge to transition into another role. So that can be very challenging. So I wanted to create an environment that puts the growth of the talents or the employees that we've probably worked in or the contractors we've worked in the past, to put it at the very first point. Like it's the number one priority for the company is for you as an individual to grow, because taking us through the journey of the company, you can actually see the company like grow with even myself. Like it becomes more mature over time. Like the first logo we had was this very playful, very colorful logo. And then right now we did some rebranding and you can see some maturity in the company's brand. We have this more mature outlook in terms of branding.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ibukun. I can promise you that I've learned so much in this very short while. Okay, so for the benefit of people who are just hearing about Cuesoft for the very first time, can you walk us through some of the key solutions or products that Cuesoft offers?
Yeah, I mean, before I talk about like the solutions, like I would like to talk about some of the challenges, because you have to overcome like challenges to get the
So,
solution.
right, please go ahead.
Yeah. So like when I started the company, I started looking for partners who shared this vision. So the promise was simple to build cool, highly technical products. So our flagship idea was QPrice, a modern cloud ERP system. However, we faced two major challenges: funding and talent. What do I mean by that? We had no money. We had zero money, like to start a company. And we also lacked the technical expertise to like bring uh Q Price to life. Most of us were just a bunch of 20-year-olds, early 20s, some were even in their teens when we started the company. To solve the first problem, I experimented with different ideas. I tried launching a shared hosting service, but that didn't even gain any momentum. Like no one in the company was even interested in that aspect of, oh, we're going to do a shared hosting service. So I also considered building a client service agency, which kind of worked for a while because we got some projects from some fintech companies in Nigeria. But then when we started that, the second problem started to surface, like lack of talent. So which made it difficult to execute projects within the given timeline of the client. So we often struggled to complete client work. And at times I had to even refund payments just to protect our reputation because nobody's trying to scam anyone. Like if you give us a task and then we're not able to do it, probably it could be your fault. It could be our fault. Like we're going to give you back your money. It's not a big challenge. So to keep the company afloat, I took on multiple contract jobs personally to like fund most of our operations. So despite the challenges, one thing remained constant. We never took on debt. So eventually, due to like limited resources and Nigeria's difficult economic environment, when the dollar rate pretty much just tripled overnight, and we couldn't pay for AWS bills anymore. So I started to like rethink the way we worked. So that was when I kind of like noticed the pattern. Like when you take a step back to say, okay, what are we doing wrong? What can we do better? How can we solve some of these challenges? So the pattern became like very apparent. Like everyone who worked with us, even briefly, always shared the same feedback. They had learned so much during their time with CueShow, which means for me, if I think, oh, we're not making money, but for me, I'd achieved my own dream of building an environment that people could say, okay, this environment contributed to my growth as an individual, as a professional. This insight kind of like gave me a new direction. So in 2023, we began to restructure the company into a sort of like a talent management and training organization. So we started taking in interns, train and grow into professionals. We took interns from like different continents. There were people from India. I think there was one person from Philippines. There was someone from Kosovo. There was someone from Nepal, and other people in Nigeria. And that approach was a huge success. Like it it directly addressed our second problem, lack of talent, because now we are able to create a pipeline of talent that we've trained. Like they work with us, and then we've been able to identify some of these people that are very exceptional and can actually contribute to some of these client projects and actually move the company forward in terms of the first problem. So in 2024, we officially split the company into two departments. The first one being the Cuesoft Talent Academy and the second being the Cuesoft Developer Labs. For the Talent Academy, this focused on solving the talent problem by training and grooming the next generation of developers. Because one thing I started to notice about the tech space in Nigeria was it was becoming too much hype, and most people were just looking for senior developers. Okay, so your company is only going to hire senior developers. Okay, what happens when they all fly out of the country and start to work for Google. So who's going to build stuff in Nigeria? There are a bunch of people who also like had the same idea during that same period and started training, but our approach was kind of different. We were not over the hype or the certificate. We give you real life projects to work on, and we even place you with clients that we find. So there's some of the clients we've been able to place in like the Netherlands. So that is progress. And then the other department is the developer labs, which is focused on solving the funding problem. For us, it's quite, our company is quite unique. It is not the typical company where you go search for VC funding. I don't think the problem we're trying to solve is something they understand. We actually got into, I could say, all the major accelerator programs, some of which I can't even mention. I can't remember. Then we got into new chip. Another one we got into like 3 other accelerators, but we only went into one. And but then like we when we think about like VC funding, we're like, what do we need VC funding? We can as well just bootstrap the company in a way, which is what we're kind of trying to address now. Is because even these VCs, when you approach the VCs, they're going to tell you, oh, show us traction. Okay, so if I have traction, what do I need your money for? So yeah, so we had to solve the traction first, even before we say, okay, we want to get more funding for some of the things we're doing. So for the Q Labs, that is going to leverage on some of the talents that we've trained to build projects, deliver client solutions, and then help them to establish a portfolio of competence and excellence. That also helps us. So it's a win-win situation for the talents who get to build, who get to improve, who get to have a portfolio. And then it's good for us because we're also building reputation. And then it's also good for us because when we get clients to work, then we have a talent pipeline that we've trained, we know, we've interviewed, we know these people. So that's the current trajectory we're on. And this new structure that we put in place allowed us to like cut costs. We became more efficient and focus on profitability. So through the Talent Academy, we build a steady pipeline of skilled professionals. Then through Q Labs, we retain this talent to deliver real-world projects, generate revenue, and then demonstrate excellence. So together, they form a circle that fuels both growth and sustainability. So I like to describe the Talent Academy and Dev Labs because anyone who comes into the company kind of gets confused. Like I said, what we're doing is quite unique. They kind of get confused. I'm like, no, it's pretty much the same thing. Like the Talent Academy and the developer labs, they're like 2 sides of the same coin. Like one cannot exist without the other. It's a closed loop in a way. Looking ahead, our 2 platforms are on track to like launch fully by early 2026 with the Talent Academy and the labs already in place. We also plan to like apply to YC next year with the goal of raising funds to like scale our operations and then expand on marketing. CueSoft's journey has been one of resilience, reinvention, and vision, from a dream sparked in a university classroom to like building a company designed for impact. Our mission remains the same: to reimagine how software is built and how talent is nurtured.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you so much for that elaborate discussion from the challenge or from this challenge that has been faced into insight you could pick up from that challenge, and then you were able to turn that challenge into a business. And I believe that's what entrepreneurship is all about, being able to find the problems people are facing and solving it. And I actually like the way you've said Cuesoft is solving the different challenges. So, okay, and you said a lot of things. So let me put myself in a very non-technical position, non that have no idea about IT, nothing to do with computer. Like I'm just I have just no idea. So how do you think, or how would you describe to, as a non-technical listener and a non-technical person, what advantage Cuesoft to be to them?
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. So we've taken on board people who have like zero background in tech. Like, so there are some people who are like fashion designers and they've wanted to transition into like product design. We've actually brought them on board to like help them, like mentor them and show them how to like work with a team, work with people who are already doing what they aspire to do, and learn a few things from them. So it's part of our program in the Talent Academy as well. Like, we are building a space where people can easily transition or just look for ways to even just improve what they currently do. Like, and AI is key to this process. I mean, I think a lot of people just misunderstand like the role AI is going to play in the society, because for me, I see as kind of like a tool. Like, most people see it as this thing that would render people jobless. I think it will just transform the way we work. I describe it as AI is like a washing machine. With a washing machine, you probably would take the same time to like wash your clothes, probably even the same effort. But then if you've washed with your hands before and then you've washed with the washing machine, you would notice certain differences. When you're washing with a washing machine, you can do other stuff while you're doing this. So you can watch a movie, put your clothes in the washing machine, probably cook and do other things. So that's how I foresee AI to be like. You're a fashion designer. You can join the Talent Academy. Let's figure out how AI is going to play into your fashion design. Like, you can use, like right now, my wife is kind of like using ChatGPT to try out combinations of clothes. Like, okay, put this blouse on this color of trouser and see if it goes, and then do different combination. Okay, let's try putting a red shoe on this. So imagine you as a fashion designer powered with AI to kind of come up with these designs, to even kind of put your clients, but there are some fashion designers that complain about how this style is not going to look good on you. But then it's hard for you to communicate that to your client because you've not seen me wear this clothes. How do you know it's not going to look good on me? But she's a professional. She knows what's going to look good based on your body type and all of that. But you've not seen it. So with AI, you can, okay, let's take your picture and then put this style on you and then let's show you how it looks. It doesn't look good on you. So it helps you to like it makes you more productive. That's where I'm going, like with the whole washing machine illustration. Like, right now, like, I'm able to like do stuff that would have taken me months to do. Like, last weekend, I just reorganized my entire laptop into files and folders. I didn't have to start moving files myself. I just sort this folder by function or type, and I just went to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, he was done with then I had to say, oh, you didn't do this correctly. You need to do this and do that. That's not a technical thing. That's something random people can use. You're a doctor. Most doctors now have ChatGPT open in front of them. Right. So at Cuesoft and Q Labs, we want to see how we can build some of these tools, open source tools that could help entrepreneurs, students become more productive. It's right there in our mission. Like, that's our focus. We want to make, there's this thing people always say, like, Nigerians are not productive. Nigerians are not productive. AI might be the solution to that problem. Like, how can we make ourselves much more productive? Because the thing is, your average Nigerian does not see, okay, why would I spend 16 hours writing code? Like, it doesn't make sense. I'd rather go to Owambe or something. Like, yeah, with AI, we are telling you that with AI, you can do all of these things productively and still go to your Owambe. Because I think that's the problem I think AI is gonna solve is it's gonna like cut through the fluff and just lets you focus so you can enjoy the good things of life. Basically, that's it. But then, yeah, that doesn't mean that you have to like sit down and then not do anything. Like, that's where the danger is. You're going to lose your jobs if you take that approach to it, because it's kind of similar to when things like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel came in, and then the people who didn't understand how to use this will probably be let go, and then they'll bring in people who actually know how to use this. Sometimes, so when I kind of interview some of the companies in Nigeria, and then I tell them, "Oh, what's your AI policy?" And then they answer me, "A responsible user." Like, what does that even mean? Like, if you're not using AI, you're not serious. Like, that's just it. You're not serious. But then I also want to correct this wrong perception around the AI. Like, there's been a lot of layoffs in the recent time, like companies, big tech, laying off people. I tried to kind of like explain the indirect uh issue with AI there. It's not that they're saying AI is replacing people. No, like, this company laying people off so they can afford to pay for those GPUs because they're expensive. So it's kind of like, if your company with 100,000 people is making a certain amount of money, and then they need to invest money into R&D, because I'm also a business person, even though I'm a technical person. I also understand the business side of running a company. So, like, yeah, definitely, we also had to do a lot of layoffs. So it's so we can invest in things that actually can move the needle forward. So it's so they can have money to invest in AI. And I think from there, like, things will improve. Like, you'd actually see in the news about some of these companies actually rehiring. So as they grow and then they adjust a few things, then they start rehiring people back. But then while you're doing that, you should also try to like improve yourself as well, like gain new skills. Like, this is not the time to be debating whether AI is going to replace jobs or not. Like, go and learn how to use AI to make yourself productive. And also, like, I talk with some of the team members here as well. Like, I see a future where we have more entrepreneurs. Teams and companies wouldn't be so big, and we would have like 5 people companies, and then you'd have AI helping out with the rest. It's also an opportunity for you to also start thinking, oh, what can I do? How can I use AI to like start my own business, start my own niche, and target? You don't need to target one house. I think in the last few years, we are so obsessed with scaling. Everybody wanted to go global. Everyone wants to scale to this country, to that country. Like, I think the future is entrepreneur. Like, you just have a group of people. Maybe the only target, maybe Yaba. Okay, you only service people in Yaba. You only service people in this town, and then they pay you your money, and then things like that. So with that as well, the clients also benefit from that, because now you have less area to like focus on, and you can just zone in on your customers and then have some kind of personalization. Like, you're actually working for the customers, and then you kind of solve the customer's problems.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Actually, I was trying as much as possible not to mention something that has to do with AI, because I know it's a huge discussion on its own. Since you've talked about it, I guess we'll just go into it for a few minutes. And for our listeners, I would like to also say this. In the upcoming month, we're going to have a section dedicated to just discussion about software developers and programmers in the age of AI. And we also have probably a subsequent section that can enlighten the listener, even the average listener, about how to use AI for your day-to-day activities. And I'm going to just to give you an example on this, a lot of people knows ChatGPT, but one thing you may not know that ChatGPT can help you to do is to develop a full website. Probably most people doesn't know that. You just need to type a prompt, and if you've been using ChatGPT for a long time, it would have been able to collate information about you. And with that, you just say, okay, develop a personal website for me based on everything you know about me, and then it will spit it out, and you'll be like, wow. Um, so there's a lot of episodes to look forward to on the Q show, and I'm just giving you an hint into feature section. Sure that we're going to still have the CEO of Cuesoft to come as also maybe a panelist, maybe to be more like a panelist discussion, to come on the show to properly educate people on AI, because some people are still scared of AI. So yeah, but before we move forward, I would like to ask you a question. Is AI overhyped or underhyped?
Yeah, I would say both. Yeah. So yeah, it's both overhyped and then underhyped. So overhyped in the sense that it's not a silver bullet. It needs a lot of babysitting. Like it's not something that could just like sew your clothes for you or just cure cancer. Like you can't do that. Like I mean, if you actually look deep into it, like you see, this thing isn't actually as impressive as you think it is. Like it is being fed large amount of data, like large amount of data. So it knows everything that it has been trained on, and it's just predicting the next word. So if you say A, it could say, okay, based on everything I know, what will follow A? It could be a boy, a book, a meal, and then it predicts the next token based on your own input. So if you're asking, okay, what is a boy? So it just says a boy is, because it knows the language structure. So it knows how to answer it. So a boy is, it's it's not that impressive if you actually know how it works. It's just a very smart text prediction model or system. But then underhyped because I think a lot of people still don't see the opportunity in using it. So it's like I even see a lot of even technical people like underhype it. Like and I think that's a problem. Like we can look back in history and even the telephone, when I believe one of the leading telephone companies back then, someone made a statement that, oh, like I imagine telephones would be so like mobile or like so advanced in the future whereby everyone will be able to just carry it in their pocket. And they say, oh, never, that's never going to happen. So I think that affects a lot of very technical people because they know how it works. They kind of under hype it. But oh, there's actually a lot of like opportunities that you can get from using AI. Like I've mentioned in the past, it could make you like very, very productive. Don't think of it as a silver bullet to just solve all your problems. No, like a washing machine makes you more productive, but then it's not going to walk and go and carry your clothes and then turn itself on and then wash your clothes. No, it's not going to do that. You still have to like string everything together and actually make it more useful, which is exactly one of the problems we're trying to solve with the Q Labs. You want to actively look into how AI can solve problems, particularly in Africa, because I see a lot of people. I mean, definitely they developed this technology, but I feel we are not doing enough as a country or as a continent to actually zero in on how AI could help us. So we're more concerned about how AI could help people who are in developed countries. Okay, we don't have the same problems. So like these people are coming up with AI to do memes. Right? Okay, it's all fun to do content creation. Like yeah, sure, they've developed words. They have all the basics down. They can afford to play around with AI and make it cartoons, memes, and all of that. And that's not what we need here. We have many big problems. Okay, so how can AI help us in certain policies, government policies? How can it help us in election? How can it help us in food preservation? Okay, how can it help us in boosting agricultural products and things like that? Okay, how can it help us in our finances? So there are very unique problems in Africa that we need to figure out and use AI to solve. So I think that's where a lot of people are missing it. Like it's underhyped in that aspect, but then it could be overhyped in the sense that it's not magic.
Okay, okay. Thank you for that. So it can be overhyped and can be underhyped. So let's say, for example, okay, this will be the last question I'll ask on AI, so we don't deviate too much. Now, for example, a new programmer, and let's say I'm enrolled in Cuesoft Talent Academy in order to learn programming and get to know more about that. How would you advise a start? Should I, because just as you said, like the washing machine example you gave, AI will not go carry your clothes and put it in the washing machine for you to use, right? You have to carry it, put it in the washing machine. Probably if the washing machine has a separate dryer, then you have to take it out, put it in the dryer and the likes. So as a beginner into the tech world, into the world of programming, would you say that I should start learning programming with AI, or I should first know the basics of programming, then delve into how using AI, or how would you advise me as a beginner?
As a beginner, like a programmer or just a
Yes.
random person? A programmer.
As a beginner in programming.
Well, yeah, you still need a basic understanding of programming. So that's another problem like we're trying to solve at the Talent Academy, where we're planning on creating courses for beginners to see the application of AI in front end, back end, and things like that. To see how you can go from zero to hero in a minimum amount of time. So maybe this time you actually be able to learn how to become a front end engineer in 2 weeks, like they've always promised in the past, and then you spend the next 4 years learning the latest framework in town. So yeah, I do see opportunities, particularly with vibe coding. A lot of people are going to have different opinions about vibe coding. I tried vibe coding and it actually did very awesome work for me. But then
Let me
something
let me quickly. So for our listeners that have zero technical skill, can you describe briefly what vibe coding is?
right. Yeah, I mean it's vibe coding is actually made for people like that with no idea what they're doing. You just open up something like Cursor, your web, the code editor. It's a code editor based on VS Code. And then you just open a chat and tell it, build me a portfolio website or make me a millionaire. And then it starts just writing code based on whatever prompt you give it. You don't need to even understand what you're doing. You can just look at the output and say, can you make this button red? Can you make this blue? And then you give it prompts like you're using ChatGPT, but this time you're interfacing with the code editor. So that's a place to start from, but then that will give you very interesting results because we've seen in social media how people push their database to the cloud and people are able to like log in and see their user data and all of that. So yeah, while vibe coding could get you started, but you still need the basic principles. You need to understand the basic principles of computer science. So that's what we're going to tackle next is people who are just starting from scratch. They don't have the time or the luxury to go learn everything, but then they want to like deliver value either for themselves or for their customers and clients. It's going to be like a compressed course where you learn some of the basic things about programming so you can use it to vibe code effectively. So things like how to handle secrets. This is all the basics of Git, like How do you store your files? What are the things you don't put in your Git repository? So it will be like just casual reading. You don't have to really understand how Git works under the hood. You just need to know how to use it to vibe code effectively. So you need to learn about your databases, how to secure your DBs, how to deploy your application in such a way that attackers don't get access to your data. So, I mean, cybersecurity too is going to be like a very big thing in the coming years because of vibe coding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayanfe. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibukun. Thank you. You've done an amazing work. In fact, I am part of the people who think that AI is like one very hard thing. But considering all the things that you have said about AI, all the insights that you have shared, I can tell you that I am more curious and I really, really want to know more. So for the benefit of people like me who think that AI is one thing that we can never know. We always think that, oh, AI, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to go about it and all of that. I know that subsequently, in subsequent times, we will have more of this podcast of this show, and you're going to tell us more and more and how to get better at using AI, the training part, the usage part, and all of that. But I just want you to talk about things people should expect. People who are just listening for the first time how AI works and all of that, and they just want to know more. They just want to hear more. So just to keep them, just to make them understand that this is just the beginning. Like we are just starting. There are more to come. There are more insights to share and all of that. I just want you, in simple words, to just tell them what they should expect. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. So just know that we are here for you. Like this is, we're going to make it a mission. Like it's my own like mission and vision to see how like pretty much every person in Nigeria under a certain age is tech savvy, is AI savvy. You know everything there is to know about AI. So we're going to be creating this. We target AI for dummies courses, but I mean it's going to be AI for geniuses. Like I think everyone is a genius in their own way, in their own field. So that's one of the things we're going to tackle. And we have a lot of fun things as well. Like the dev labs, the Q labs is going to be so much fun. Like that's what I'm most excited about, the Q labs. I cannot wait to get the Q lab started because it's going to be fun. You're going to have a lot of things to like gain from it. We're going to be partnering with companies to like hand out devices based on your participation on the platform. So when you contribute, you're going to get stuff. You could even win a MacBook. So that's how fun it is, like based on you just contributing to the community. So you don't have to be super tech savvy. So you take it from baby steps. At least you know how to use some of these LLM tools. ChatGPT will teach you how to use ChatGPT effectively. Then moving on from that to prompt engineering, where you can actually start messing around with, can I say, code, like some small Python codes, like you structure your models. And then there are a lot of open source models out there as well for people who are like cost sensitive. So even with like the lowest device spec, like you're not a very technical person, we're building courses to address people who don't have that capacity to host big machines. So there's something for everybody based on your own level of competency in uh, AI or computing. So there's the basic, then you move on to the mid level and then advanced. And then if you want, you can go even deeper into it. But there's a place for everyone here.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Ibukun. Thank you so much for all the powerful insights that you have shared. I can promise that I've learned so much in this little while. So I'll leave you in the hands of Mr. Ayanfe just to, if he has.
All right. Thank you so much. like she said, I've also learned a lot, and I would like for us to go back to the original topic, which is you telling us about Cuesoft. And I know you've mentioned a lot of things, a lot of AI initiatives, a lot of things that has to do with AI that Cuesoft is trying to, is currently doing or has done and is currently doing. So I'd just like to know that I would like to, let's say, I would like to join Cuesoft. So in the next 5 years, how would Cuesoft be in this age of AI? Can you just like paint a picture for us? Let us know what to look out for, what to look up to in next coming years.
Yeah. So in terms of outlook, the company's outlook in 5 years, well, I like to live in the moment. It's very difficult to predict 5 years, but yeah, as we go on with the series, like we'll learn more about some of the plans that we have. But trust me, yeah, we want to be like a central hub for knowledge. Like that's my own vision, is being a center of innovation. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that captures it. Like a center of innovation, like in the country and in Africa at large. So I'm very passionate about what happens on this continent. So we want to be able to contribute meaningfully to that, create an impact, which is our value, and to also help people realize their own full potentials as well. So that's how we see ourselves in 5 years, a center of innovation and excellence.
Okay, awesome. So next 5 years, summary, not even the next 5 years, as from now, Cuesoft is the center of innovation. So if you not take anything home from this podcast, know that Cuesoft is a center of innovation, which is geared towards helping you, like the CEO has said, towards taking you from 0x to hero, right? 0x to 100x. So that is what Cuesoft is all about. And we have a question from one of our listeners, which is, how can we get more information on Cuesoft's update on the next podcast and other things? So, starting from, just to give you an idea, this podcast will be running it on a monthly basis, and we'll be putting information out about the podcast, about any update on all of our social media, starting from Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, the live stream you're watching it from here. We'll be putting in all necessary updates on all our social media platform in order for more people to join and participate. So thank you so much, all our listeners, for having this section with us. Thank you so much. We're grateful to the host for all the insight he has shared. And I'll just give him the platform for one last time before we end to give us any concluding statement.
Yeah. One last thing I would like to let us know, we're pretty open. Like if you have ideas you want to share with us, if you want to be part of the community, please reach out to any one of us. Like I'm always available to take. I'm always looking at my emails and stuff. So I'm going to see it. I'm going to try my best to respond to any inquiries you're free to ask, any opinions, any way we can improve, and some of the challenges you'd like us to address, and how we can help in any way.
Thank you. And in case you don't know the name of you can also go to our website, fill in some inquiry form. There are numbers there you can call, and there's an email. And our website is cuesoft.io, spelled as cuesoft.io. So cuesoft.io, if you go to our website, you'll see more information about all the awesome things we're doing, all the things the CEO has explained today, and you also see some contact details you can click on, or you can check out in case you want to reach any of us. So thank you so much for joining once again, and we'll wrap this up with this. So see you next month. Thank you. Bye.